You know what's weird? We have endless debates about boomers. We write think pieces about millennials. We study Gen Z like a brand new experiment. But there's this entire generation sitting quietly in the middle that almost never gets mentioned. Generation X,
What a beautiful
born
day for a
roughly
walk.
1965 to 1980.
We should do this
They're the
more often.
coworkers who don't panic,
Looking
the
good.
parents who
Almost there.
don't overshare,
finalizing the
the
last
adults
column.
who helped
Remember to
build the
cross-check
digital
the client
world
data.
but don't
Good
feel the
idea.
need to
What a
narrate their
beautiful
lives.
day for a walk.
And here's the
really
part
is.
nobody
Perfect weather.
explains.
We should do this
Their
more often.
psychology is one of the least understood of any generation still alive. Imagine this. It's the late 70s. You're a kid walking home from school. You unlock the door yourself. The house is empty. No check-in texts, no tracking apps, no safety net in your pocket. Just quiet. By the early 80s, millions of children were routinely home alone after school. Not occasionally, not as an emergency, regularly. That kind of childhood doesn't just create independence, it wires the brain differently. You learn early that actions matter because there isn't always someone there to cushion the landing. Psychologists call environments like this high-contingency systems. Cause leads straight to effect. No delay, no negotiation. So Gen X kids learned to think ahead, anticipate fallout, solve problems in real time. That habit never left. At the same time, they were watching adults promise stability while the ground kept shifting. Divorce rates rising, layoffs spreading, families restructuring overnight. They heard one message: play by the rules and you'll be fine. But what they saw was different. Rules changed mid-game. So they developed a mindset that researchers later labeled defensive pessimism. Expect disruption, prepare emotionally, keep moving anyway. Not hopeless, not bitter, guarded. There's a difference. That guard shows up everywhere, especially in how they treat privacy. Gen X grew up in a world where embarrassment expired. You did something stupid, a few people laughed, and life continued. There was no permanent archive. So the modern idea of broadcasting your life to strangers forever doesn't feel freeing to them. It feels exposed. They don't avoid social media because they don't understand it. They avoid it because they understand risk. Humor became another shield. Sarcasm, dry jokes, laugh first, feel later. They grew up under Cold War tension where teachers practiced nuclear drills like routine safety exercises. When adults act calm while describing catastrophe, kids learn to hold fear at arm's length. Irony becomes emotional armor. Work followed the same pattern. Responsibility came early. Paper routes before sunrise. Retail jobs in middle school. Handling money before most kids today handle passwords. These weren't resume boosters. They were introductions to reality. And after watching companies discard loyal employees, Gen X didn't attach identity to employers. They attached identity to competence. You can't control layoffs. You can control skill. So they invested in capability instead of promises. Here's the contradiction at their core. They are deeply self-reliant and quietly dependable. They hate asking for help, but they'll give help instantly. No speeches, no spotlight, just presence. Those habits were built in friendships formed without adult supervision. Reliability wasn't sentimental, it was practical. Their relationship with authority is equally practical. Titles don't impress them, ability does. If you know what you're doing, they're on your side. If you don't, no badge or position earns automatic respect. They grew up watching institutions fail publicly. Questioning leadership isn't rebellion, it's memory. Even how they learned shaped their cognition. Information used to require effort: libraries, indexes, physical searching. Cognitive research shows effortful learning creates stronger memory encoding. When knowledge costs time, it carries weight. That's why many Gen X adults default to hands-on problem solving. Flip the object over, open the panel, try to fix it. There's a built-in belief that most problems are understandable if you're patient enough. Now they're parenting in an era of constant monitoring and infinite answers. They give their kids attention they rarely had, but some quietly worry that safety removed friction, and friction builds resilience. To Gen X, visibility still feels like vulnerability. That instinct never faded. Generation X isn't louder than other generations. They're quieter. Not weaker, not stronger, just shaped by a narrow window in history where analog childhood collided with digital adulthood. They remember boredom, silence, figuring things out alone. They're a bridge generation. And bridges don't ask for praise. They hold weight. They connect worlds. They do the job. And maybe the most Gen X quality of all is this: they're fine if nobody claps. If this resonated with you, subscribe. We make long-form psychology deep dives about the hidden forces that shape how people think. Comment, like, and share. It helps keep these conversations going. See you in the next one.